First question.
This is the man behind one of the most insane shows on television. Eric Andre is the architect behind the madness of what I find to be the funniest show I've ever seen. The relentless physical comedy and unfiltered nature of the show makes a unique experience, to say the least. Let's try to deconstruct the madness that is the Eric Andre Show. So what is the Eric Andre Show? It's a show on Adult Swim that stars Eric Andre and Hannibal Buress and is a complete sprint from the get-go. Literally. The show is a parody of the typical late-night show. It inhabits the same structure and elements, but in this show, everything is turned on its head. Each episode is only around 11 minutes long, and they somehow manage to pack a lot of comedy into one episode. Dump all of this craziness together, and you get this.
Oh, I'm saying it.
Go for the dude in the middle.
Yeah, poopy, yeah, poopy. Fire! I hate old man! It's pizza safety time.
Each episode generally goes something like this. Eric does a failed opening monologue that Hannibal will more than likely take issue with because the joke wasn't that great.
Talk about going out with a bang, people.
Whoa, what?
This will be followed by a skit from Eric doing something crazy in the streets of New York.
Free Tuesday. Free Tuesday.
Then we get the first celebrity interview, and we get a quick "we'll be right back," and then cut to another skit from the street. And when we come back, we get another celebrity interview. We then get a skit, and then we come back to a musical guest as a part of the outro. The structure is nearly identical to any talk show. Let's take the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, for example. There's a narrator introducing the host along with jazz music playing from the band. The host comes out and exchanges quips with their sidekick. They have their opening monologue and introduce their guest. They have a street skit shown between segments and will generally have a music guest at the end. Sound familiar? Let's break down the elements of almost every episode of the Eric Andre Show. We'll start off with my favorite aspect of the show, which is the opening monologue. Eric's constant attempts at comedy are generally futile, from bringing up irrelevant or completely misguided news to flat out bad jokes.
Michael Jackson, he hasn't been in the news too much lately, right? It's like, where are you hiding, Jacko?
He's dead, man.
Are you serious?
Thankfully, the all-present and wise Hannibal sets him straight, telling him how bad his jokes are, and most of the time he has to prompt Eric to even go up to the microphone to start the monologue. The bread and butter of the show are the guests, since they are the main segment of each episode. In the first season, there weren't any real celebrities, so to speak. They were just random people mostly, and would act like whoever was supposed to be interviewed. Take Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example. It looks just like him, huh? Season 2 and on has been actual celebrities or people somewhat famous. The catch being that the majority of them have absolutely no idea what they're getting into. Some guests like Chance the Rapper, Jack Black, and Tyler the Creator were at least aware of what kind of insanity they would see. Jack Black went on the show knowing things would get crazy and could still barely handle it.
I knew what I was getting into in that I'm a huge fan of Eric Andre, and I knew it was going to be some sick and I was a little nervous about it because I was like, is he going to treat me bad? But he it was what you'd expect. It was about 112 degrees on the set by design to make me uncomfortable. I was sweating profusely. It smelled horrible, and then I found out why later. They were broiling, hot, rotting squid carcasses underneath the floorboards.
The guests are subjected to over 45 minutes of interviewing and torture. Some of the torture techniques include the temperature of the room being very warm due to the set lights. The AC unit is actually inside the building and is so loud that it can't be turned on during interviews, meaning that the room just gets hotter and hotter. Mild electrocution is also at play, as the seat that they're sitting in is rigged so that the showrunners can send a jolt to them anytime they want. And each guest's interview is cut into just 3-minute segments, usually consisting of the first initial introductions and the final ending when the guests are exhausted. And that is where Eric says the gold is. The perfect guest is one that doesn't know anything about the show, and they come on thinking that it's just like any other talk show.
But you have guests that don't know.
Most guests have no idea. We had Abby Lee Miller come in. She's the dance mom. Do you know dance mom's one person? Wow.
Yeah.
This is gonna go great.
Yeah.
No, she walked up to my first AD, and she was like, is this a cartoon or is it with real people?
Yeah.
And we were like, yes. Yeah, she knows nothing.
One of the more infamous moments from the show was when Lauren Conrad walked off during a taping of the episode. She hit her breaking point when Eric threw up on the desk and ate it.
Nope.
God.
I don't blame her one bit. Eric is very rarely taken out of character, but one of my favorite moments is when Lance Reddick punches the desk during an interview and completely throws him off guard.
Need a new desk.
After walking off set, he comes back dressed as a slave/Star Trek character, talking about how he wishes he was LeVar Burton.
Iconic slave role. Motherfucker. I wish I were LeVar Burton.
You can't make this stuff up. One of the main components in this engine, I'm gonna run out of analogies soon, is Hannibal, the sidekick, so to speak. He's funny in his own right, making quips during interviews to add another layer to the craziness that the guests are already experiencing.
Hey, Kristen, I could take you to a place where it doesn't smell like this.
He even has his own episode where he runs the show, which is fantastic as well. And he comes across as the better talent of the two, but seems to just allow Eric to run the show. Or it could be a plot to kill him.
I think this show is a ploy for Eric to kill me. But then I get sober and I be like, man, I was tripping.
The skits in this show are a world of their own, from pranks Eric pulls on the general public or causing mayhem in restaurants and bars. The skits are real, and Eric has gotten into a lot of trouble in the past. One skit involved going to the local town hall meeting and running for class president of a high school.
Hey guys, vote for me for class president, and I'll put beer in the water fountains and cameras in the girls' locker rooms. Woo! Go Bobcats!
He was escorted out and arrested and spent the night in jail. You've got Ranch It Up skits where Eric dresses crazily and goes around the city acting like a cocky jock, asking people about their love for ranch dressing and what kind of things they want to do in the quad later.
You want to hit this ranch? Not at all. You mind if I hit this? You partying in the quad later?
Bird Up is the
worst show on television.
Eric just dresses in all green while having the bird on his shoulder interview people. People foolish enough to participate are harassed by Eric. He tells them that they can't see him since they will remove him in post-production. It's interesting to say the least. The majority of the other skits are just random scenarios Eric puts himself into, mostly trying to make passersby uncomfortable as he tries to add a little chaos into their lives. He's also set up an entire art gallery for him to go into and have people admire, only for him to go and destroy every piece of artwork because he tripped and fell.
This art hurt me! This art sucks! You're living a lie! You're living a lie! Yeah, take it down! You're living a lie! This art is terrible!
He's gone on a train and poured Fruit Loops and milk everywhere, saying, "Drink from me," because he didn't get the job at Fruit Loops.
I did not get the job at Fruit Loops. My body is now your communion. Please eat from me. Eat from me.
That's just a taste of all the things he does in the skits in the show. A quick note, Eric actually does all of his stunts, so when you see him running around and barging into things, that's actually him. He knows most stunts will be painful, but he does it because he knows it'll be funny, and he gets that absolutely right.
Why is this happening?
Let's get to the musical guests. There have been a slew of people that have come onto the show, and as you should expect by now, they don't actually make a ton of sense. For instance, the man who rants about how frozen yogurt is a scam and that it actually isn't frozen, it's just really cold.
Frozen yogurt. Really? Why do you lie to me?
Sometimes two groups are playing at the same time and it makes for a great listening experience, I'll tell you that. Like the time a death metal band was playing along with a women's quartet, or how about the time opera was sung with a hype man.
I eat you like you pasta, man. We get high like we some rastas.
I just love how dumb these combinations can be and make such an interesting sound. A few other things that tie the show all together are some of the smaller things. The band that is there for every episode to play the intro music and occasionally be cut to for reaction shots and have some jokes of their own. And the band completely changes in season 4, but it is still as crazy as the original. The production staff, I'll call them, are also shown in cutaways looking serious or doing something off-putting, like throwing up out of nowhere. Delightful. Wait, did you hear something?
About what?
About this. About this.
Russell Brand is actually on the show as well. Well, not the one that you're thinking of course. We're talking about this guy.
I am a tomato.
Two main essential characters are Doc Chicken and the Grizzly Bear.
Ladies and gentlemen, a grizzly bear. Grizzly bear.
Literally the show's lifeblood. As you can see, the Eric Andre show is a unique experience. It makes a mockery of the typical polished and safe night show and has a gritty and aggressive style that lends itself to a much more outlandish presentation. Everything about the Eric Andre show is supposed to be against the grain. From the torturous interviews to the anti-politically correct skits, Eric Andre has mastered the art of chaotic comedy, and the show excels from his vision. I've either encouraged you to check out this show or given you further reason never to see it. But at the end of the day, comedy is subjective, and in the case of this show, the only way to enjoy it is if you embrace the madness. Thank you so much for watching. I've been a longtime fan of the show and love to binge watch episodes or clips anytime I'm bored. I couldn't possibly include everything in this video, but I was trying to break down what makes the show so great. If you like my content, please consider subscribing to the channel, give the video a like or dislike, and leave a comment about your favorite moments from the show. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Absolutely.
Quack.
Bye-bye. Doth my nugs bequeath me?